Good morning. Good morning. Let me know when you are here. We have to get that squared away every day because it's difficult for me to see what we are doing. So I have to ask y'all to help me. Okay, so I'm still trying to see if we're live. Okay, so it appears, and I say appears, it appears that, yes, good morning. Good morning, Terry. Good morning, Candace. Thank you, ladies. You are here early. Make sure that you tag your friends so that they can tap into this morning. This is day 3. How are you guys feeling about day 3? Day 3 of this Retail Accelerator Challenge. Terry, I have been seeing you like literally all over the place. I have been seeing you all over social media, just really just raising your hand with this Retail Accelerator Challenge. I love your product. I absolutely love your product. Candace, let us know where you're from. I went back, had a chance to go back and look through, and I've been stalking y'all online on social media. So I'm very excited about where we are. I want to try to find something. Hey, Chanel. We're going to get started pretty much right on time, but I wanted to make sure that I can get in because you guys may remember from day 1, it was very difficult, for me to actually connect. So I wanted to make sure that I was able to do that. And there was a couple of things. We're going to have fun today. Okay, Candace. Okay, Madison, Alabama. My family lives in Harvest. I grew up in Huntsville, so definitely know that area very, very well. Okay, let me figure this out. Okay, here we go. All right, ladies, look, it is 11 o'clock. We are going to go ahead and get started. I know some people are going to tap in. We're going to start tagging some people just to remind them to go ahead and tap in with us live. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here again. If you are here, let us know. Yes. Terry says she is soon going to be in Houston, Texas. Absolutely. That is the place to be. That is where I am physically located. So very excited about all of the great things that are happening actually here in the Houston area. So I want to start, since we're waiting on a few people to pop in. So I want to hold off on the recap for just a minute, but I want to remind those of you that are joining live, those of you that are watching on the replay, about who this challenge really is for, right? And so this challenge is for you if you have a product that you have dreams of growing beyond your kitchen and beyond online sales. Now, some of you may be just in the kitchen and you may be getting ready to go to online sales, and that is okay, right? It's for the visionary. It's for the person that says, okay, I see beyond that. I see beyond online sales. And I'm going to do a little bit more of an in-depth recap, but remember, we talked about the growing opportunity for in-store sales. We talked about some of the challenges previously in online sales, some things that we are seeing, that we have noticed that are happening, that we want you guys to be prepared for, because it's going to be the micro businesses that are going to be severely impacted by these other things, right? We talked about and look, it's in the news, and I encourage you guys, make sure that you research these things, because these are the things that you have to pay attention to. But one of the major things was the article where the U.S. Postal Service essentially said it's going to cost more to ship a package and it's going to take longer for it to get there. Now, who wants to pay more money and be inconvenienced? But that may be happening, and that may be the reality, honestly, for your product-based business customers if you are only online, if they can't just hop in their car, right, and go to and go to wherever and get your product, right? The other thing too that I didn't even mention the other day, places like Instacart. Imagine, guys, if your product is in that store and that store is on Instacart. You get the best of both worlds, right? You get the best of both worlds. The best of both worlds. See, these are the types of things that are essential, right? These are the types of things that are important that you want to know about. And this is why you want to be able to grow beyond your kitchen, right? You got your product on hand, right? You're selling online, you're doing great, or you're about to be doing great. But imagine a time where people can only go to a store. Remember, we talked about this, and I had mentioned how everything shut down but certain essentials, right? The essentials were a lot of these big box stores, not even just retailers, but a lot of these big box stores are also essential. This is why we made the decision to target businesses that are seeking to get into these big box stores. Now, realistically, yes, let me just be honest. Will you out the gate be national? Probably not. The average small business that's used to doing just e-commerce, right, may not be at a place where they can instantly be national. But again, that's going to be part of your growth plan and then eventually global, right? So it's for you if you see yourself. So my charge and my question to you, and you don't have to put it in the comments, you can, but you don't have to put it in the comments. But my question is this for you? You've been here the last couple of days, whether live or on the replay. We've talked about some of the things that it's going to take to get you to that next level. And you have to ask yourself, is this for you? Right? You may be the person that's getting more and more customers, but you need guidance on how to structure your business, how to meet the demand, how to structure your procedures so that you can be more streamlined. What are some things that you can do now that you're like, okay, this is becoming a little bit too much for me, but what do I do next? Right? If you don't know, that's why you're here. Being connected with us, being a part of this challenge, and eventually being a part of our retail superstar family, these are the things that you're going to have access to, right? You may need ideas on how do you secure a manufacturer, because now you're growing beyond what your present capabilities are. What about suppliers, so that you can have a diversity of suppliers so that you can avoid some inventory issues. I was just at an event last night where I was talking about some of the things that I've been sharing with you guys here at the challenge. And so one of the things that we were able to do was to help her determine, okay, how do I, because she's having some challenges, right? She imports a lot of her products. There's nothing wrong with that, but she's having some challenges because she can't even get that on time, which means that her customers are having to wait 14, 21 days before the item is even shipped. Not to receive the item, but before the item is shipped. And so we were able to work through that with her. And now, like literally today, she's working on another supplier. Same quality, different supplier. Because your customers don't want to hear, well, we're having a problem with suppliers. That's fine, but they want the product now. Okay? So it's for you if you're that person that needs the introduction to the alternative suppliers, or you need introduction to suppliers. I'm going to go through. One of the things I want to do today is I want to remind some of you of some of the things that you put on here. You guys have been awesome. You've been awesome in absolutely doing the challenge, and I see you out there because we've been hunting those hashtags. You've been doing the homework. You've been dropping the information. You guys are freaking rock stars, and I love it. But you are definitely in the right place if you're ready to boost your brand and see yourselves on store shelves, right? Because we talked about this. I'd mentioned that one of the things that I did in preparation for this was to really go out and see what's happening in some of these retailers, right? What is the situation? And I shared how I talked with some managers, and they were like, "Yeah, we just don't have anything. Like, it's not that we want that to be empty. We want our shelves to be stocked." Why? Because they want people to come and buy from them. So there are huge opportunities there. One of the challenges that I put out that I know at least two of our California participants went to do is they went on a field trip and they went to some of these stores, the stores that they would like to see their products. And they saw exactly what I was talking about. Now, I'm in Houston, right? So I'm in an entirely different state, an entirely different metro area. But these ladies, one is in the San Francisco, I think the San Francisco Bay Area, she said, and the other one is in the Los Angeles metro area. They saw the same identical thing. This is such an awesome opportunity. It's such an awesome opportunity, okay? So for those of you that don't know, I am LaTanya Moore. I'm the managing partner of the Southern Regional Law Group. I'm also a business mentor and consultant for 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs in service and product-based industries. In 2019, I won the Enterprising Woman magazine award. And, you know, if you guys are familiar with Enterprising Women, you know that they give awards out every year. It's a wonderful, wonderful organization. But one of the things that they look at is they look at things like innovation. They look at things like, are you feeling the need in the market that's helping women expand in the marketplace, right? Are you having a social impact? So there are a lot of different criteria that are met, right? And then they look at our sales, right? They look at, how many sales did you have? Because they want to make sure, right, that people are buying your product. It's not just a great pitch, but people are actually buying your product. So there's a verification process that we go through. I also shared with you guys that I'm a 4th generation entrepreneur, but part of the reason that I wanted to do this Retail Accelerator Challenge and really create this whole family around retail superstars is because probably now about 11 or 12 years ago. So this was before, let me just say this, it was so long ago, it was before Facebook even was a thing, right? So it was definitely before people were doing any level of e-commerce. And we started noticing, my sister and I, we started noticing when we would go to different places and our customers would ask us. So my father owned a very popular barbecue spot at the time. And people would ask, well, do you sell your sauce? And it's a regional sauce that we had, still very popular. And we were like, well, yeah, we could. So we started selling it initially, of course, with my dad's permission, directly out of the restaurant. And people were buying gallons and gallons. I mean, they were buying it, guys, to the point that some would just come and buy that. They weren't even buying any of the meat, right? They would just come and they would just buy that. And so my sister and I started talking. We had a family meeting because we were both working in the business at the time, along with my father. And we had a meeting and we said, okay, let's see what it will take to get this in different stores, right? Now, again, this was years ago. And I'm sharing this journey with you guys so that you could see, like, this was not a short process, right? It's not like it is now. It's not a short process. So my job was to do the research to see every aspect of what we needed to do to be ready for this. Now, some of you may or may not know, I have a background in government. I used to be a federal government attorney for about 12 years. And so I do have a background in federal regulations and understanding regulatory language and things of that nature. And so that's why that was my, I was the best person. I was the best person on the squad, right, for that, based on my knowledge and skill set. So I was able to, it took me, honestly, about 4 or 5 months to get this whole thing down of like, okay, this is what we need to do. So at that point, then we went to work, right? We worked on certain things. There were certain things that the stores require, right? That the product had to be able to do, right? So we had to do all of that. So bottom line, to not belabor the story, it took about 7 or 8 months to get to the point of even being able to do the pitch, right? So in addition to making sure that our product was ready, because that's really the big thing. That's what it took us the time to do. We had to make sure that our product was ready, because if they say yes today, we needed to be ready to turn it around within a certain amount of time. So we had to make sure that we had the things that I'm telling you guys about, the proper manufacturers, the proper suppliers. We had to understand, and we're going to talk about financial blueprint today, but we had to understand and really, really, truly understand our cost, right? So that we would know what our profit could be, because we still had to make a profit, but the company has to make a profit, right? So we had to understand all of this. So all of this was my job, putting all of those things together like we're talking about today. So long story short, we pitched to several of the large grocery chains. Now, our strategy was to go to grocery chains because that's where we were wanting to be. And that's where in our market research, we saw that this is where this product at the time, like now things are being sold everywhere, but at the time, grocery stores is where people were buying this product. And there was only one quote unquote competitor in the market that was selling this particular same type of a regional product. Okay. So we had a very good marketing position even at the time. So go through the process, send in everything that we're supposed to send in, and we get a request from Kroger. They wanted us to come, and us, including my father, of course, because he is the figurehead. So they wanted to meet him, right? They wanted to meet him. They wanted to hear about the story. They wanted to know the history that came from him, right? Because this was a family recipe. And so they wanted to know the history, but really, to be honest with you, they wanted to see him because they knew us, right? They wanted to see him. So that was the last part. We had to do, put a pitch together. We'd already met all of the other demands. We had the meeting set up, and my father refused to go. Let that sink in. Like, he literally refused to go to this meeting. Now, I'm going to be honest, and I'm sharing this. I'm going somewhere, right, with this. I believe, and I'll even speak for my sister on this. We believe that one decision not to go to that meeting completely robbed us of a legacy that we know we would have had during this time. So you talking about somebody like, yes, Pat, Chanel, yes, like you're talking about someone crying, like literally, I was like, why would you do that? Like literally, we're waiting, we're in the car, we're ready to travel, to go. And what makes it even worse is that basically what they told us with everything that we provided, right? We would have gotten a regional deal. Like we wouldn't have even gotten just, okay, we're going to try this in your local city market. We were poised to get a regional deal. That would have been huge at the time. Now remember, this was the time before e-commerce. So could you imagine if we started in the stores and then when e-commerce came along, now people could buy it from anywhere and we could then test the market. And then we could go back to Kroger and say, hey, now people from Seattle, Washington, they're ordering this product. Can we have another market? Like all of these things could have happened, but they didn't. And I'm sharing this story with you guys because this is why we started out with mindset. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If you're the person that when you get the opportunity, you're not going to jump, Retail Superstars is not for you. It's just not for you. Okay? My father would not be eligible to be one of the Retail Superstars. Right? Because when it came down to it, he had everything that he needed. but the mindset wasn't there. And remember, on day one, we talked about that. The mindset is the foundation of everything. You can visualize yourself, you can see yourself, but then what? If there's no implementation, you must be the person who is willing to implement, right? So this is why I'm passionate about product-based businesses, especially now, because all of that time that I told you guys about in those 12, 15, 20 different meetings, none of that has to happen now. Why? Because we're digital, we're online. People can meet, via Zoom, for example, depending on the type of product you have, right? I've been with clients where we've walked manufacturing facilities. Yeah, we want to lay eyes on what it is that you have going on, right? Yes, we're not just thinking about you. You need us. We don't need you. Like we've done that. So my passion, honestly, I guess I'll just say it may be a little selfish. Maybe I'm trying to recapture the legacy that we will never have. Right? Because now this has been a while, and it still hasn't happened because the person who has to make it a reality, their mindset isn't there. But that for me says, but there's so many people that have the mindset. They don't have the information. They don't know what to do. And there's only so far that you can research, right? There's only so much that you can research. It's just so much. And then after that, it's like, okay, well, what do I do now? One of the things that we talked about for day one is for you guys to put your product out there, right? One of the things that I saw that Katrina did that I thought was absolutely amazing, she put her product out there and it didn't even have a label on it. And I'm gonna tell you why that's important. Because yes, if you look at some of the things that she shared about what her next steps are, there are some things that she has to do. But she didn't say, well, I'm not going to put my product out here because it doesn't have a label on it. What she did was she helped the market understand, oh, it's coming. It's coming. May not be 100% ready, but it's coming. And it's coming for you. See, these are the types of things that you want to do. I told you guys yesterday, Terry got her face all over her product. It's like, listen, if you want to know who owned this product, right? These are the types of things. What I'm saying is these are the types of things that you can't be embarrassed. You can't be scared. You can't perfect, right? Complete is going to always be better than perfect. You know why? Because perfect, when you believe that you've achieved perfection, you no longer try to evolve. You stop growing when you feel like something is perfect. And then if the marketplace tells you, well, no, it's not perfect, now you're crushed. Get to a place of completion, right? And then allow the market to give you the information that you need to perfect in the moment, right? These are the types of things that you have to be willing to do. This is where that mindset comes in, okay? And you gotta be coachable and you gotta be ready. The second thing is the second day, day two, we talked about who's on your squad, who's your team member. So I'll just use my family story since I shared it with you guys. So I told you guys a lot about me, right? So I have the government regulatory background. I do have a background in things like marketing and branding. And then on top of that, the legal background, right? In terms of protecting your brand and trademarks and intellectual property and understanding that. I've done a lot of higher level negotiations. So getting the right deal, that's my area, right? That's my area of expertise. My sister, her background is in human resources and operations, right? So she's worked in manufacturing facilities where she had to create training and development programs. But she also understands compliance, right? She also understands input, output as it relates to manufacturing. She's also worked in retail for some of these major big box stores. Again, in the corporate and the operation side. So I'm showing you the squad, right? The core group. Remember, I told you guys there's an inner core group of advisors. At the time, I was actually working with another company that was a private company that was putting their food in grocery stores. So I already had an entire list of co-packers, manufacturers, suppliers. I had a list of how to get things even imported, right? At the time, we didn't have the type of challenges that we have now with the tariffs. So what I'm saying to you is that the squad was tight. But remember, I said the mindset has to be there. If the mindset isn't there, it doesn't matter how tight your squad is. So I'm going to look at this because I want to talk about, you guys talked about your squads, right? And I'm going to pull this up because y'all are just awesome. Squad goals. Let me see. I had it. Ms. Zelda says, my squad goal is a 12-person team. And she lists all the people that she needs and who she needs in what capacity. Miss Terry Brown, she says, my squad goals is to have a team of 20 to 25, right? Including 4 brand ambassadors, customer service, quality control, advisors. She said, including me, yay, right? But also a production team, right? So why did I want you guys to think about that? Because most of you told me that you were solopreneurs or it was just you and maybe 1 or 2 other people. But I wanted you to see yourself bigger because there's no way that you're going to be able to get to that retail space without even thinking about, well, what else would I need to make this a reality, right? Let's see. We have Glenda told us that her squad is just her and her sister, okay? And then Mona talked about it's herself. She has a CPA, which is awesome. Her husband. She talked about what he does. Pat went on a field trip. She has squad goals. She said it's herself, but she also wants her goals, right? To at least 2 customer service reps, a tech team, someone to handle shipping, CPA, insurance, business lawyer, personal banker, printing for her product, and she feels that she needs a business and a life coach. Right? Some people talked about social media. I mentioned Katrina earlier. She talked about planning. She talked about branding, marketing, positioning. She talked about putting her pitch together. Kiba talks about lawyer, accountant, clinical director, 10 contract employees. She needs a VA, manufacturing company, distributor, right? Why did I want to go through that? I wanted to go through that because remember I told you, like, your people ride on your voice and your frequency. That's just not for your customers. That's also for the people that are on your team, because you want people to buy into your vision. You want them to buy into your mission. But don't be like my father that does that, and then when we get to the end zone, it's like, yeah, I'm going home. Or you decide you're not going to show up for the game. Right? Because you want people to be your cheerleader. You want people to be your ambassador. There needs to be a win for them in the end as well. Okay? Needs to be a win in the end. And we're still kind of going through the recap, but there needs to be a win in the end. And this is why I wanted to go through everything, because now a lot of this is going to lead us to where we are today in talking about the financial blueprint aspect of it, right? And I want you guys now to just drop in there. Let's see. Okay, so you guys have, all right. You guys have so many awesome squad goals. So I want to shift just a little bit and talk about the financial blueprint, because one of the things that we asked, right? Remember, before we even did this, we asked you guys, what are some of your major concerns, right? It doesn't matter who you ask. Everybody always says money. Everybody always talks about the financial aspect of it. But we wanted you guys to be able to leave today with something that you can tangibly do, right? Mindset is never ending, right? Squad, never ending. Capital, financial, all of those things are never ending. I'm going to share some things with you guys, some ways that you can fund, but also some other things that you need to consider that's dealing with things like mindset and your squad, but also the intersection of that with your financial blueprint and with your money. Because that is going to be crucial for you to get. So The biggest question around the financial blueprint is like, what are the essential elements to building and growing your essential financial elements? Let me say that, to building and growing your retail business, right? Because it's not just the fact that you have capital. It's, are you savvy enough to understand what needs to go there? What needs to go where, right? So how much is going to go to product and inventory? Let me tell you what I see oftentimes. I see people willing to spend a whole lot in product and inventory, right? But spend $0 in marketing. So basically, they're preparing themselves to have a storage full of product with nobody to give it to, nobody to sell it to. And if you have a perishable product, you really need to pay attention to this, right? Because your product has a short shelf life. Most natural products have a short shelf life. So the question is, why would you spend more money on more product than you would on marketing? Right? Now, let me talk about the other side of that, right? You have people that do a lot of marketing because they want to bring in sales. But then they don't have they don't have enough product. In no way. And the capacity is so low that they can't bring in their product in a way that's going to be efficient. And I know it sounds like I'm talking in circles, but what I'm saying is there is a key element that's missing, because most people don't sit down and create their business financial blueprint. I'm not talking about your budget. I'm talking about your business financial blueprint. Okay? So, number one, what is your raw cost for your product? Right? When you look at your products, let's just take this, right? When I look at this, there's a raw cost for this product, right? What is that? And most people say, well, I spend $100 a month on everything. And then by the time I'm done, I have 100 products, right? This is what they say. So my raw cost is $1. It's not your raw cost, right? And I'm gonna demonstrate what I'm talking about. When I look at this product, right? Okay, there's glass for the screen. I'm can y'all see this, right? It's just an iPad in my little notes. There's glass for the screen. There are all these different parts. There are all these internal parts. See, what you have to know is each piece and how much of each piece does it cost. Now, right now, it may not matter. Like I remember I had a client that I was going through this exercise with, and she said to me, but my markup is so much. Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Right? Why does it matter? So what I want you to do is I want you to understand that there is something called raw cost. And when you're ready and when you're able to do your pitch with these big box stores, you have to be able to explain what that raw cost is. Why? Because they want to know how much of a profit margin that they have. You're going to have to be willing to do profit, right? They need to know what the real profit is, because you're not going to be able to sell what you normally sell it to them at retail. You're going to have to sell it for a lesser amount, because they have to be able to make a profit with your present price. Okay? That's the part that I want you guys to think about. So I want you right now to drop in the comments, what are some of your biggest takeaways, right? We're gonna backtrack, right? What are some of your biggest takeaways from day one and day two? What are some of your biggest takeaways from day one and day two? And y'all give me 1 second. We have something going on in our building. Give me one second. Okay? So y'all do that. Drop that in the comments while we getting set up. All right, I'm waiting on you guys. While I have to do one quick shift, but I'm gonna keep streaming. One quick shift, okay? All right, we're gonna make one quick shift because we went a little bit over our time. There you go. All right, we're gonna make a little shift. Can y'all see this? All right, let me know that you can still hear me, guys. All right, we just had to make it one quick shift. And I think we are good to go. I think we are good to go for now. All right, so let me see what, cause it's and we're going somewhere, guys. We are going somewhere with this. Everybody needs a win in the end. Creating financial blueprint. Yes. So we talking about stripping down to the bare bones. Absolutely. We are talking about stripping down to the bare bones. We're also having the right mindset. Yes, putting yourself out there, take the risk. Mindset, being coachable. You got to have the right squad. Glenda says, release fear. Clearly define squad goals and responsibilities. Yes. Be prepared. Be prepared for the opportunity that you desire and take that leap. Sonia says, have the mindset to succeed and be ready to go and grow. Yes. We don't mind being over the top. Geraldine says, aligning with great mentors like yourself. Oh, that's so great. Thank you so much. So the reason that I wanted to take that short, break, not just from the transition, but when we're looking at our financial blueprint, it's extremely important. Now, for some of you, your product may not be as detailed as some others, but many of you have consumable products like food. Some of you guys have health and beauty, for example. And so because of that, you have to know a lot more than others in terms of your raw cost. And let me tell you why, right? If almost all of you have seen at least one episode of Shark Tank, it never fails that the question that is asked every day to every one of the people is, how much does it cost to make it? Right? And they ask them, how much does it cost to make it? Oh, it cost me $3. And how much do you sell it for? Oh, I sell it for $9. And they're like, woo. Why? Because 30% is cost. So as an investor, and I'm saying that because if you look at the way that it breaks down on Shark Tank, that's exactly how these big box retailers are looking at whether or not they should take a chance on your product, right? Because you have to pay for the raw cost of the product. There's a markup there. You're going to be selling on your website, right? So think about it like this. A big box store cannot sell it for more than what you sell it for on your website. They won't make any money. So the cost, the retail cost, has to be consistent. So where does that other money come from? It comes in that profit margin. This is why the raw cost is so important. Okay? This is why the raw cost is so important. And that's a major component of your blueprint, is the raw cost. What does it cost me to do this product? And then what can I sell it for where I make a healthy profit, but also the retailer will make a healthy profit? Okay? Now, I want to shift from that, because that's kind of determining your cost and putting it out there just so you understand, right? Now, here's another thing. And this gonna get to that place where, you know, we really need to have like this real conversation, right? When we're talking about funding your business, right? When we're talking about funding your business, most people do what's called bootstrap. Now, there's nothing wrong with bootstrapping. Like, I know people that have bootstrapped and they make multi six figures a year off bootstrapping. So there's nothing wrong with bootstrapping, but bootstrapping is very high risk, because if there's no return on that investment, there's nothing left for you. Because bootstrapping means you're using your own money. You're probably leveraging credit or something like that, right? So you're taking all the risk when it comes to bootstrapping. Now, think about it as self-investment, right? You are now the financier of your business, okay? There's also another aspect that I always encourage people to invest in, right? It's self-development, personal development investment, right? A lot of people talk about business coaches, or I'm going to hire this person, I'm going to hire that, and that's fine. But you want to make sure that there's a true personal development aspect of it. You want to make sure, right? One of the things that we definitely pride ourselves on is we don't see a product, right? When people work with us, it really is just you. Now, our retail superstars, of course, there's only limited slots, but our retail superstars, this is a group of people. However, it's not like, oh, everybody doing the same thing. No. It really is customized, because we have to meet you at your point of need. When you're talking about things like personal development, this is why you have to be coachable, because some things are happening because of you, right? So for example, I go back to the story that I shared with you guys, my very personal story. We couldn't move forward because of my father, because of his mindset, the way that he thought about things, right? It didn't matter. Nothing else mattered. It didn't matter that you had this major grocery chain saying, this is a product that we believe could be successful in our business, and we want it. We just want to see, we want to be able to meet the founder. We want to be able to connect with this story, this family, this family history, and so on and so forth. We want to be able to do that. But that mindset wouldn't let it go. This is why personal development is important. This is why you have to be willing to take that risk. And if you're not willing to take that risk, right, and invest in yourself, what's the point, right? What's the point of doing it? You can also finance your business, right? And when I say finance your business, that could be from a debt standpoint. You could do debt financing. You could do debt and equity. There's so many different aspects of what you can do. You guys know I'm a big crowdfunding proponent, right? So you could do crowdfunding. And there are a lot of different ways to do different crowdfunding campaigns. We have done some, when I say big, right? $1 million. We've also done some that are smaller. Not small, but smaller. 60,000, right? And when I say smaller, I'm saying, under 100,000 when I say smaller, right? There are also some that when we work with people, for example, when we have some of our newer folks, right, we help them put their crowdfunding strategy together so that they can get, $20,000, $30,000. This way, they don't have to go and get $30,000 worth of debt. That's a small amount of money if you're going to leverage debt, right? And I know I'm kind of going in a bunch of different places, but I want to expose you to all of these different things that you can be thinking about when it comes down to financing your business, and creating your full financial blueprint. Because remember, I told you, it's not just about sales, right? It's not just about profit and losses. It's about all the things that I've been talking to you about today, right? One of the last areas that I do want to cover is collaboration, right? Sometimes you can trade value for value, but it still represents a dollar amount on that financial blueprint, right? And I'm not talking about service for service. I'm talking about value for value, okay? You can also trade equity. There's several different things that you can do with regard to creating your financial blueprint. Now we are going to be, let's see, Katrina says, attend free webinars when available and connect with like-minded people. You have to look at personal development dollars as an investment, not a cost. Absolutely. Absolutely. There is so much quality free content. I don't knock things like YouTube University, right? I don't knock any of those things, but don't just listen to what the people are saying. Make sure that they're qualified, right? There are a lot of let me just say this. There's a lot of free content, but free DIY, library research, these things are only going to get you so far. At some point, you really need to connect with the coach, with the consultant that's here. Because you have to ask yourself, do you want to spend 5 years trying to do this? I shared some statistics the other day. Let me find it. The projection is that by the end of 2021, people will have spent $3.3 trillion inside of stores in the United States. It's also projected that by 2024, $21.4 trillion will be spent inside of stores globally. And when we talked about this statistic the other day, I asked everybody, or no, I didn't ask. What I said was, I want you guys to get a piece of that. I want you to get a piece of that $3.3 trillion. I want you to get a piece of that $21.4 trillion that's happening in stores. Because that's not counting your online sales. That is in stores. We also talked about, and Pat was able to actually find the article. So I would say go back to day 2 and look at the post, because she provided a link directly to the article that I talked about this gentleman whose restaurant had to close down because of COVID. And he made a huge pivot, right? He made a huge pivot, and he went from zero, nothing, restaurant closed, all the way to being in multiple grocery chains in 9 months. He didn't even have a product when this started. All of you already have products. You already have products. So now what does it come down to? It comes down to mindset, right? It comes down to your willingness, right, to invest in yourself, because that's what you're going to have to do, right? Because 2021 is here. 2024 is right around the corner. You want to be able to tap into those markets, right? We've shared, and some of the people that have been here have also shared that they verified this in their own communities, is that these store shelves are empty, not because they don't have inventory, but because they just have no products for that particular store space. This is an opportunity for you to get your products there, right? It's an opportunity for you to get your products there. One of the things that I want to just very quickly hit on is, these are the things I want you to think about. How much money do you really need in your business? Right? How much do you need? What would be the difference between what you're presently doing, whether you're doing online or trade shows or flea markets, right, to being on store shelves? What is that difference? Right? I told you guys about my in real life story, right? I told you guys about that. One of the things I do want to share with you, and I'm going to see if I can drop this in I think I should be able to drop this actually in, I hope I can. I think I can drop this in for you guys. Yep. I'm going to drop you guys a link. I'm going to give you it's like a retail sales calculator that it's specifically what I use with my clients. I'm going to drop the link in there. To prevent misuse where temporary. Okay. Not sure why I can't. Now I can't. Let's see. Test. Okay. So for whatever reason, let me see if I can. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'm trying to drop this. We have a bit.ly link that we created to make it easy to share this with y'all. And for whatever reason, Facebook is saying that we can't share. So hold on. I'm going to share this because I want y'all to be able to get this. It's a retail sales calculator. And what it does, it helps you to actually do some of the things that we're talking about. So it'll ask you specific questions and you put in the information and it will calculate it on your own. So let me see if it'll let me do this. Lord Jesus, I hope so. Bit.ly. Let me see. Okay. For whatever reason, it let me do. Oh, well, no, it didn't. Okay. It will not, for whatever reason. Okay. So we're going to, okay. So, okay. It was sent in today's, email reminder. You're going to have to get this from your email. For whatever reason, they will not let either of us drop this link into, they won't let either of us drop this link into the comments. So what you can do is, because I want to do two things before we go. I wanted to make sure that I shared this sales calculator because I want you guys to see where you are right now, but also have a tool that you can utilize to do your sales projections so that you can see, how to start this financial blueprint. That's the first thing. The second thing, you guys have been absolutely phenomenal. I mentioned that we do have the Retail Superstar program that we now have been doing roughly for about a year, right, in a one-on-one setting that we're now pulling together. And part of this, several of you have reached out to me about being a part of that, about working together. What you can do right now, it will not let me drop a link in this section for some reason. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to drop in the comments, let's work, right? Hashtag let's work. And when you drop in the comments, hashtag let's work, we will then reach out to you with the way so that you can actually get on the schedule and let's talk about you being a part of the Retail Superstars. Unfortunately, it is very limited. As you see, this was just a small portion of all the work that we have to do with people to get them to these store shelves, right? Which means we can't have a huge, big group, unfortunately. But you guys have been here. You have been active. Okay, Terry said, let's work. Drop it below. We will make sure that we reach out to each of you so that we can get you there. I know that there are a few people that have already scheduled because you reached out to me before. We do have you. Katrina says let's work. Terry says let's work. Candace says let's work. Let me see. Belinda says let's work. You guys are awesome. So for those of you that are watching on a replay, still the same thing. Okay, so it did let you do it. Okay, so there's a link. Chanel just dropped a link for us. Go to that link now and go ahead and get on the calendar, and we will have a call and talk about, what the next steps are. One of the things about this, and this is, and I have to just say this, one of the things about this is, like I said before, this is really for the person that is serious. Right? You're serious, you're ready to go. There are some questions that you're going to have to answer prior to the call. All of that is right there at that link. You complete all of that, and then we will go from there. Because my own personal goal before I let you go is that you don't become a story that we talk about, unfortunately, like my father did. And some of you I know, you know who I'm talking about, right? And so you know that I'm not making it up, as far as the business that we've had, because it's still there. But I really, Terry, it's let me see if it'll let me do it. Let me see. Terry says she's not seeing the link. Probably won't even let me do it. That's okay, Terry. If for some reason you don't, if for some reason, Terry, you don't see it, everybody that said let's work, we're gonna make sure that you have the link, whether you are live or whether you are on the replay. Make sure that you do hashtag let's work, so we can make sure that we go ahead and we get you ladies and gentlemen on the calendar, because as people commit, they're going to take a slot, right? So as people commit, they're going to take a slot. So I just want to make sure you guys have been here. You've been awesome. You raised your hand for the challenge. We've been seeing y'all in these internet streets, right? We've been seeing you guys in these internet streets. Okay, so she just posted it again, Sonya. It is a bit.ly link. Geraldine says let's work. All right, so she just posted it again, guys. You should be able to go directly to the link, but we will still circle back with those of you that have said let's work. So make sure you check your DM, you check your spam and all of that, and we'll definitely send that. But for those of you that are watching on a replay, this opportunity is available for you. Now, I will say there is a fast action bonus. So for those of you that go ahead and get on the calendar, go ahead and schedule. If you schedule before tomorrow, right, before the end of the day tomorrow, which is Friday, October 1st, you will be able to take advantage of the fast acting bonus, which will, of course, give you a really, really awesome thing. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it during the call, right? You definitely will have the fast action bonus for being here, for participating. All of you, please still make sure that you're utilizing your hashtag Retail Accelerator Challenge, that you're putting your product out there. Please feel free. You can tag me as well. We are going through looking, but if you want to tag me, that's fine, and we will go from there. So thank you so much. I look forward to talking with each of you, right? If you have questions, get on the call, or you could just drop your question actually here in the comments. But for those of you that when you hashtag let's work, if you said hashtag let's work, let's get to work, get on my calendar, and we will go from there. But thank you guys so much for being here, and I look forward to releasing our next slate of Retail Superstars. Have a great day.